In the summer of 1977, America pulsed with the rhythms of a nation caught between eras. Disco thumped in smoky clubs, Star Wars lit up silver screens, and the Cold War hummed beneath everyday life like a low-frequency current. Yet just outside the unassuming college town of Delaware, Ohio population under 20,000 humanity stood at the edge of something far stranger, far grander. The brink of cosmic contact. There, rising from cornfields and clover, lay the Big Ear radio telescope, not a gleaming dome or a parabolic dish like those in California or Puerto Rico, but a sprawling, low-slung colossus of engineering ingenuity. Designed by Dr. John D. Krauss, a physicist of towering intellect and poetic vision, the Big Ear was a machine built not to see the universe, but to listen to it. Its design was deceptively simple. Two enormous flat reflector panels, each the size of a football field, angled toward the sky and anchored by 4-foot-tall steel towers that pierced the Midwestern clouds like the ribs of some buried leviathan. Between them sat a feed horn array, suspended on a rail system, capturing faint whispers of radio waves from deep space. Unlike steerable telescopes, the Big Ear did not chase the stars, it waited for them. Night after night, as Earth turned on its axis, the sky drifted across its fixed field of view, like a scroll unfurling before a silent scribe. For over a decade, it had been scanning the heavens as part of Ohio State University's search for extraterrestrial intelligence. SETI, patiently sifting through cosmic static for one thing, a signal that should not be there, a pattern too precise, too narrow, too intentional to be natural. And then, on the night of the 15th of August 1977, it found one. The air was warm and still. Crickets chirped in the tall grass. Above, the Milky Way arched like a river of crushed diamonds. At 11:16 p.m., the Big Ear's receivers tuned to 1,420.4556 megahertz, a frequency sacred to astronomers. It's the natural emission line of neutral hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. In the 1,950 seconds, physicists Giuseppe Cocconi and Philip Morrison had proposed this frequency as the logical watering hole where civilizations might choose to hail one another across interstellar desert. It was a quiet channel, a cosmic meeting place. What came through was unlike anything recorded before. For exactly 72 seconds, the precise duration a celestial object remains in the Big Ear's narrow beam. As Earth rotates, the signal surged with astonishing intensity. It climbed from background noise into a towering spike, peaked, then faded clean, narrowband, and centered perfectly on the hydrogen line. In the computer printout generated hours later, the signal was encoded as a string of alphanumeric characters representing signal strength over time. 6 EQUJ 5. To the untrained eye, it was gibberish. To astronomer Jerry R. Eman, reviewing the data a few days later in his campus office, it was a thunderclap. He circled the sequence in red ink. Beneath it, in hurried but emphatic script, he wrote, "Wow." The word would become legend. Not because it was scientific, it wasn't, but because it captured the raw, unguarded awe of a human being confronted with the possibility that we are not alone. The wow signal, as it came to be known, remains the strongest candidate for an extraterrestrial transmission ever detected. Scientists scrambled. Was it a satellite? A military test? A reflection off space debris? all were ruled out. The signal originated from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, near the star group Chi Sagittarii, roughly 120 to 1,100 light-years away, depending on interpretation. It showed no Doppler drift, suggesting it came from a distant, non-orbiting source. Most baffling of all, it never returned. Dozens of follow-up searches, including a 2017 effort using the 100-meter Green Bank telescope, listened for months. Nothing. Meanwhile, time marched on. The 1,980 seconds gave way to the internet age. SETI moved from government-funded curiosity to privately backed ventures like the SETI Institute and Breakthrough Listen. And in 1998, the big year itself, no longer funded, no longer cutting edge, was dismantled. Bulldozers flattened its steel bones to make way for a golf course expansion. The land that once listened to the stars now echoes with the thwack of drivers and cheers from the 18th hole. Yet, the silence that followed the "wow" signal grew louder in the imagination. Philosophers, poets, and scientists alike have returned to it again and again, not as proof, but as possibility. A moment when the universe leaned in, whispered a single syllable, and pulled back. What if it was a message, sent long before the pyramids rose, before Columbus sailed, before humans dreamed of radio, launched from a world that may no longer exist? Arriving just as Earth was learning to listen. Or perhaps it was a beacon, still broadcasting, but the big ear caught only a fragment as Earth turned. Maybe we simply haven't listened long enough, or in the right way. Or maybe the cosmos is kinder than we think, and sometimes, just once in a human lifetime, it grants us a glimpse of the infinite. Today, a small historical marker stands near the site in Delaware, Ohio. It reads, on the 15th of August, 1977, the WOW signal was detected here. An intense radio signal, possibly of extraterrestrial origin. Tourists come, take photos, and leave. But if you stand there at night, far from city lights, beneath a sky still deep enough to show the Milky Way, you can imagine it. The hum of the receivers, the rustle of corn in the wind. And for one perfect, trembling moment, the universe speaking, and someone, finally, listening.